All right, folks, let's dive back into this conversation about Caitlin Clark, who, in case you haven't heard, just bagged the WNBA Rookie of the Year award. Yep, she's that good. But, of course, there was that one voter who decided to go against the grain, as if they missed every game she played this season. We'll get to that later, but for now, let's address the critics who've been dying to call her overrated. They're going to regret it. Let's rewind to earlier this season when some people decided to label Caitlin as overrated after a disappointing playoff debut. Yes, it wasn't a perfect game. No, she didn't single-handedly pull off a championship run in her first crack at the WNBA postseason. But can we just calm down for a second? Rookie struggles are par for the course. Ask literally any Hall of Famer how their first playoff experience went. You'd think Caitlin was expected to waltz in and immediately transform the Indiana Fever into title contenders. But last I checked, basketball's still a team sport, right? And let's not pretend like she didn't still perform. Even on an off night, Caitlin still managed to rack up stats that most rookies would kill for. But hey, let's ignore that because she didn't single-handedly carry her team through the first round. This is what I like to call the instant gratification crowd mentality. If it doesn't happen right now, they lose their minds. Like I said, calm down. There's a process to greatness, and Clark's just getting started. Now, let's talk about Sheryl Swoop's recent comments that Caitlin still has more to prove in big moments. Critics love to spin this into some sort of grand dismissal. But let me tell you something. When a legend like Swoops speaks up, it's not about tearing down a young star. It's about calling her to rise even higher. It's not hate, it's tough love. Swoops is laying down a challenge, and it's a challenge Caitlin should, and probably will, embrace. Every legend needs that push, that moment when they're called to do more. Remember when Kobe had Shaq riding him early in his career? Greatness often starts with being told that what you're doing isn't enough. Yet, it's about recognizing the potential and giving someone the nudge to fully realize it. But of course, some people take this as proof that Caitlin is overrated. Yeah, because being told you still have room to grow means you're not great, right? Nope. What it really means is that she's got the kind of raw talent that makes the legends pay attention. They don't criticize just anyone, folks. If Swoops is talking about you, you're already on the right path. So let's really break down this word. Overrated. In theory, being overrated means there's too much hype for too little substance. But when it comes to Caitlin Clark, the hype is real, and the substance is undeniable. We're talking about someone who, in college, turned the basketball world upside down with her logo threes, playmaking abilities, and complete disregard for the normal limits of a human shooting range. She was, and still is, a spectacle. Yet, a few rookie-year stumbles in the WNBA, and some folks are ready to slap the overrated sticker on her. Talk about being impatient. Basketball, especially at the professional level, takes time to master. Caitlin isn't just trying to fit into the WNBA, she's trying to dominate it. And that takes a minute. It's like expecting a chef to whip up a Michelin star meal their first time in the kitchen. Give her time, people. Plus, let's be real. Despite all the talk, Caitlin still walked away with Rookie of the Year. Oh, and by the way, 49 out of 50 voters agreed. That one outlier? Yeah, we're still scratching our heads about that one. Maybe they were busy watching reruns of 90s games and missed Caitlin dropping deep threes like candy throughout the season. Who knows? The bottom line is, the vast majority saw what was obvious. She's the real deal. Here's where I remind everyone that greatness isn't instant. It's built. Every superstar has their rocky moments before the real shine comes through. Caitlin Clark is still laying the foundation, and honestly, she's doing a pretty darn good job so far. She's not playing on a powerhouse team. The Indiana Fever aren't exactly stocked with all-stars. Yet, there's Clark, game after game, making things happen, whether it's her elite passing or those insane shots from the next zip code over. If this is what overrated looks like, then I think a lot of other players might want to get on board with it. Caitlyn's worst days are better than most rookies' best days. The fact that people expect so much from her already speaks volumes about her potential. Sure, she's had a few growing pains, but name one rookie who hasn't. LeBron James struggled early on. Kobe Bryant airballed his way through his first playoff series. Caitlyn's bumps are simply part of the journey, not the end of the road. And let's not forget, she's not just playing well, she's transforming the game. She's redefining what it means to be a point guard in this era. She's not afraid to pull up from 40 feet, make a no-look pass, or put the entire team on her back. This kind of play style is going to become the norm because of Caitlyn's influence, and we're only scratching the surface. What really gets lost in all this overrated talk is the impact Caitlin Clark has beyond the court. She's not just a player, she's a phenomenon. Kids across the country are imitating her long-range bombs in their driveways. She's inspiring a new generation of hoopers who dream of pulling up from the logo and making the game-changing shot. You can't put a price on that kind of influence. This is where the critics fall short. They see a missed shot or a tough game and start pounding the overrated drum, completely ignoring the cultural wave that Caitlyn's creating. She's not just here to win games, she's here to change the game, and that's something most players never even come close to achieving. She's expanding what's possible for players of her size and skill set. And while people are busy nitpicking her every move, the rest of us are just enjoying the show. Now, here's the fun part. Caitlin Clark is only getting better. She's not going to let those few off games define her, and she's certainly not going to let the overrated whispers slow her down. In fact, I'd bet those whispers are the exact thing fueling her fire. We've seen this before with the greats. They take every bit of criticism, bottle it up, and unleash it on the court in ways that make the critics look foolish. Just look at how she responded to this season. Rookie of the Year, despite a challenging debut. The girl is on a mission. When she figures out the full pace of the WNBA and starts clicking with her teammates, it's going to be a wrap for anyone who doubted her. Those logo threes, get used to them, because they're not going anywhere. Caitlin Clark's story is just beginning, and those who are jumping to conclusions now are going to wish they'd waited. Once she puts it all together, there's going to be no stopping her. She's not here for quick success. She's here to build a legacy. And all those who called her overrated, they'll be eating their words sooner than they think. So, let's circle back to that overrated narrative. It's just not true. Caitlin Clark is exactly as good as advertised, and if her Rookie of the Year win didn't already prove it, the next few years will. She's a once-in-a-generation talent who's going through the same growing pains as every other legend before her. The difference is, she's handling it all with the kind of grace and tenacity that only the greats possess. To the critics, keep watching. Caitlin Clark isn't done, not by a long shot. And when she fully blossoms into the superstar we know she's destined to be, the only thing overrated will be all the doubt you placed on her name.